This is Sagrada Familia. Finally, we know the date of completion of La Sagrada Familia, Barcelona's iconic basilica. Wait, or we don't, actually? You've probably heard that Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Well, the same goes for Barcelona's famous Sagrada Familia. We've all heard of construction time overruns, but 150 years for Sagrada Familia? Oh man, that's crazy. After a very long wait, there are official statements that Sagrada Familia will be finished by 2026. Once it's done, Sagrada Familia will be the tallest church in the world and the biggest in Barcelona, standing at a massive 173 meters tall. However, there is the one but. Something that, again, may hinder the great plans of architects and tourists fascinated with this monumental, cultic engineering marvel. One hitch that might delay its construction till 2036. So, what is this problem that arises? Also, is it really possible to see the Sagrada Familia in 2 years from now? Why does the construction of the basilica take such a crazy amount of time? After 150 years of construction, why isn't Sagrada Familia finished yet? How was it back in the day, and how is it today? Let's find out. I am sure that many of you would love to hear a bit more about how the biggest basilica in the world went from zero to one of the most impressive wonders of engineering. If not, that's completely fine, and I suggest you skip to the chapter where we talk about the troubles and prospects of La Sagrada Familia. We'll see you then. So, it all started with a bookseller named Josep Maria Boccabella. In 1872, he returned from a trip to the Vatican, his mind buzzing with inspiration from the grand Catholic artworks that adorned Rome's skyline. Determined to bring a similar magnificence to Barcelona, he dedicated the next 8 years of his life to campaigning and fundraising for the construction of a new cathedral. Drawing upon his influence as the founder of one of the city's spiritual associations, Boccabella tapped into his network to enlist the expertise of architect Francisco de Paula de Villar. Together, they embarked on the ambitious task of designing a cathedral inspired by the neo-Gothic marvels scattered across Europe. Their efforts eventually led them to secure a piece of land in Barcelona's Eixample district, acquired for the then equivalent of 1,034 euros. And so, with Boccabella's unwavering determination and Villar's architectural prowess, the foundation was laid for what would become the iconic La Sagrada Familia. But soon, they clashed over the nitty-gritty details of the design, leading to their split. Boccabella wanted Sagrada Familia to be Europe's tallest, imagining it towering over St. Peter's Basilica. But then, reality kicked in. The project needed someone who could handle the tough technical stuff and the money side of things. And that's when a guy named Antoni Gaudi came in. The search for the perfect architect for Sagrada Familia led Josep Maria Boccabella to Antoni Gaudi. Gaudi wasn't just any architect, he was a visionary who could not only design something stunning, but also understand the complex engineering required to bring it to life. In 1883, just a year after the cornerstone was laid, Gaudi took the reins as chief architect. His vision for the Sagrada Familia was unlike anything seen before. Inspired by the natural world, his designs incorporated flowing Art Nouveau curves and a breathtaking 12 towers representing the disciples of Christ. Gaudi's ambition was clear. Sagrada Familia would be the tallest Catholic church in Europe. But the architect also knew this was a project that would far outlast his lifetime. So instead of relying solely on sketches, he meticulously crafted 3D models, ensuring his successors would fully grasp his grand vision. When questioned about the seemingly endless construction timeline, Gaudi offered a memorable reply: "My client, God, is not in a hurry." This dedication continued, even as Gaudi juggled other projects. In 1914, he made a significant commitment, leaving his home in Park Güell to devote himself entirely to Sagrada Familia's construction. But no one had any idea that the coming century would be full of challenges that would delay the completion of this beauty. Tragically, after dedicating an incredible 43 years to Sagrada Familia, Antoni Gaudi's life was cut short. While walking to his daily confession, he was struck by a tram. At the time of his passing, the basilica stood at only 15 to 25% complete. The 20th century brought its own set of challenges. In 1936, the Spanish Civil War erupted, leading to the deaths of staff members and the destruction of crucial building models. Progress virtually stalled until the war ended in 1939. The years that followed were marked by a revolving door of architects and persistent funding issues. Even under the long dictatorship of Francisco Franco, construction continued, albeit slowly. While Franco himself showed little interest in the Sagrada Familia, he couldn't alter the fact that Gaudi had insisted on funding from the Spanish Catholic community, a funding source beyond his control. A glimmer of progress finally arrived in 1976, with the completion of the bell towers that flanked Gaudi's Passion facade. But the coming years were even tougher. Things finally started looking up for La Sagrada Familia in 2005. Gaudi's contributions to the cathedral were declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a major boost for the 200-strong team working tirelessly on its completion. However, just as momentum was building, a new challenge emerged. The government proposed construction of a high-speed rail network that would tunnel directly underneath the basilica's nearly century-old foundations. Concerns erupted about the potential impact on the structure's integrity. With so much left to be done, this was the last thing that anyone needed. Despite fervent opposition from architects and engineers, construction on the railway began in 2010. Government officials insisted that the underground tunnels wouldn't disrupt ongoing work at the Sagrada Familia. The high-speed rail service became operational in 2013, effectively rendering the 6-year battle to stop it pointless. On a brighter note, 2010 also saw Pope Benedict XVI visit La Sagrada Familia and consecrate it as an official basilica. The momentous occasion drew a massive crowd, with 6,500 people witnessing the Mass inside, and a staggering 50,000 people gathering outside to receive communion. Just 15 years ago, the Sagrada Familia presented a stark contrast. The inner part of the church lacked a roof, standing between two facades adorned with 8 bell towers. One side resembled a sandcastle, while the other showcased Gaudi's artistic genius with its Cubist-inspired design. Progress continued with the installation of an organ and the covering of the main nave, allowing religious services to be held. However, true to La Sagrada Familia's unique history, it took another 7 years to establish a weekly service schedule. Today, visitors can attend Mass every Sunday at 9 a.m. The basilica's age necessitated refurbishment of sections completed in the early 20th century. Around this time, a long-standing financial battle between the Spanish government and the project developers intensified. The government threatened to halt construction entirely if the project didn't secure a proper license. Fortunately, UNESCO intervened in 2017, contributing 37 million euros to facilitate the permitting process. However, the government remained adamant about ensuring transparency in future planning. A 7-year permit was granted, along with a projected completion date of 2026. This target year held a special significance, the centennial of Gaudi's death. Everything seemed to be on track until the unforeseen hit of COVID-19 in 2022. For the first time since the Spanish Civil War, construction on the Sagrada Familia came to a complete standstill. Several months of inactivity have likely pushed back the 2026 deadline as the team races to recover lost ground. The pandemic also disrupted La Sagrada Familia's funding stream. following Gaudi's wishes, corporate sponsorship was off the table. Donations and ticket sales were expected to generate 36 million euros to settle outstanding government dues by 2026. However, the government has recently announced a revised completion date, still 2026. But the question remains, will they meet this ambitious target? That's the million-dollar question. Esteve Camps, a spokesman for the Sagrada Familia, assures everyone they have the necessary funds and materials to finish construction by 2026. This includes completing the towering central spire dedicated to Jesus Christ. But there's a slight caveat. While the main structure is on track for completion in 2026, work on decorative details, sculptures, and most importantly, the highly controversial staircase leading to the future main entrance is expected to drag on until 2034. This very staircase has been a source of contention between local residents and the Sagrada Familia for quite some time. Before the pandemic hit, the city council even attempted to mediate discussions between the two sides, but only one meeting took place right before COVID-19 shut things down. Recently, a local council member, Janet Sands, expressed her commitment to resolving the issue. She stated that her personal goal is to facilitate meetings with both parties and hold a public forum before the end of the year to address this complex situation. Now, here's the rub. Residents directly impacted by the staircase project claim they haven't been contacted by local authorities, despite their contact information being readily available. So, while the 2026 completion date remains the official target, this unresolved controversy with the staircase throws a bit of a wrench into the works. So, we now throw the ball in your court. Will the project be completed in 2026? Or will we have to wait another 150 years, a time in which we might not live to see a beautiful Sagrada Familia?